Making headlines this hour, Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Mohammad Asim has paid a courtesy call on Vice President of the People's Republic of China, Li Yuanshao. Education Ministry says that over 74,000 students are enrolled for the new academic year, which begins tomorrow across the country. And Florida governor vows to hold alleged airport shooter accountable for the deaths of 5 people in Friday's shooting in the baggage claim area of Fort Lauderdale Airport. Good evening and welcome to Nightly News on Television Maldives with me, Fatma Sara. Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Mohammad Asim has paid a courtesy call on Vice President of People's Republic of China, Li Yuanshao. During the meeting, Minister Asim and Vice President expressed their commitment on further strengthening the existing friendly bilateral relation between the two countries. Minister Asim expressed gratitude to the government of China for its continued contribution to the socio-economic development of the Maldives. Highlighting that China remains #1 tourist market of the Maldives, the Vice President and the Minister discussed the importance of cooperation in the area of tourism. Since this year marks the 45th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Maldives and China, both expressed hope on celebrating the occasion in a special manner. Ambassador of Maldives to People's Republic of China, Mohammed Faisal, Ambassador Ahmad Halil, Secretary Bilateral Hussein Sharif, Desk Officer at China Desk, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and senior officials of Embassy accompanied Minister Asim during the call. As part of the official visit to China, Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Mohammad Asim visited Dalian Medical University and met with Maldivian students studying at the university. While addressing the students and management of the university, Minister highlighted that Dalian Medical University produces one of the highest number of Maldivian medical graduates and congratulated the students who successfully completed their program and graduated yesterday. The minister also spoke about President Yamin's key pledge of providing and promoting high-quality education for all Maldivians and securing a brighter future for the Maldivian youth. Minister Asim addressed the students as the best ambassador of Maldives in China, helping to enhance the close cordial relationship between the two countries. Minister Asim's remarks were followed by a Q&A session where both Chinese and Maldivian students participated. The minister then went on a tour of the students' campus and a dorm resided by Maldivian student. Minister Asim also held a meeting with General Secretary of Dalian Medical University, Sun Zhaolin. The university awarded 2 Chinese government scholarship opportunities as a token of friendship between the two countries. On behalf of the government, Minister Asim thanked the General Secretary for this generous offer and expressed hope that the quota allocation for Maldivian students will be increased in prestigious learning centers in China, including Dalian, in the near future. Education Ministry says that over 74,000 students are enrolled for the academic year, which begins tomorrow across the country. The minister says all preparations for this academic year has been made. Education sector of the country has been developing at a steady pace, with each year bringing more progress to the sector. While the academic year begins tomorrow, over 74,000 students are enrolled in 212 different schools across the country and 6,900 teachers have been recruited to work in the schools. The government has carried out various efforts to ease space constraints faced in schools, either by expanding existing schools or building new ones. Many projects were also carried out by the government during the school holidays to refurbish school buildings as well. 12 schools in Malé City and 200 schools in the atolls will be providing education for students during this academic year. The Education Ministry has also established 17 multi-grade schools in islands with smaller populations. The government has also been able to achieve a target stated in one of the Sustainable Development Goals to provide free preschool education to all children prior to commencing primary education. 2 years of free preschooling has now been established in government schools across the country. While 8th of January is the first day in the academic calendar, the midterm holidays will be given from 19th till 23rd of March, followed by first term examination holidays from 11th till 15th June. Second round of midterm holidays will be given from 3rd till 7th of September, and final school holidays will be given from 26th November till 11th January 2018. Managing Director of ADK Hospital Ahmad Afal says that the development of the hospital's new and improved theatre will be completed and opened during the first quarter of this year. ADK Hospital, the first and largest private healthcare provider in the country, was established in 1987. Since its initiation, the hospital has revolutionized private healthcare sector with the introduction of latest healthcare services to public. The hospital is carrying out various projects to upgrade its services to the public and provide better healthcare to the citizens. According to the hospital, its most recent expansion project to develop a theatre complex will increase the number of operation theatres at the hospital to 5. Speaking to public service media PSM about the current expansion projects carried out by the hospital, Managing Director of ADK, Ahmad Afal, said that 95% of the new theatre complex building has been completed. Afal said that the new operation theatres are prefabricated theatres developed by a German company. He said work is also underway to acquire required equipment and machinery for the new theatres. Afal said that the new theatres will ease the difficulties faced by patients in obtaining medical care due to lack of availability of the theatre. The new theatre complex will have 3 new operation theatres, a 5-bed recovery station, a cath lab, a 5-bed coronary care unit and CCU service. Commissioner of Police Ahmad Arif says that crime prevention efforts were largely successful last year, with noticeable decrease in crime, in return ensuring a safe environment for residents. Commissioner of Police made the remarks during a discussion session held with senior officials of police regarding the work strategies for 2017. The meeting held at Iskandar building was attended by senior officials from different departments of Maldives Police Services. During the meeting, CP praised the efforts of different departments of police in preventing and reducing crime in 2016. He urged the departments to continue to work in this way during 2017. The meeting focused on crime prevention strategies for 2017 with specific deliberations on the efforts which could be carried out by the institution during the first quarter of the year. The Commissioner discussed ways to address concerns of citizens in different issues, ways to tackle social crimes and traffic-related violations. During this meeting, discussions were also focused on ways in which police could work together with local authorities to deal with the issue of illegal immigrants. Sea Life Global signed agreements with a Chinese company to develop 297 housing units in Hulumale. Sea Life Global is contracted the project to develop 3,000 housing units and an office complex in Hulumale by Housing Development Corporation (HDC). Sea Life Global earlier subcontracted the projects to develop 300 housing units to a Sri Lankan company and 278 flats to a Chinese company. Sea Life Global has now signed an additional agreement with a third subcontractor to develop 297 flats in Hulumale. This project is contracted to a Chinese company, 23rd MCC. According to Sea Life, they will hand over the land to the contractor of this latest projects once required permits are confirmed. Apartments developed by Sea Life Global will include 1 room, 2 rooms and 3-room apartments as well as penthouse apartments. Chinese tech giants are unveiling their stunning innovative products at the ongoing 2017 Consumer Electronics Show CES that opened Thursday at Las Vegas Convention Center. ZET has unveiled and released 2 new products into the American markets, the crowdsourced Hokey phone and its Blad V8 Pro smartphone. At CES 2016, ZET announced its groundbreaking project CSX to completely crowdsource a mobile device that it will build in 2017. The Huawei phone is the result of the project and is available for pre-order on Kickstarter, the world's largest funding platform for creative projects. Chinese TV giant Cheng-Gong has a long history at CES, and this year is displaying its latest TV and mobile phone products at CES. General Manager of Sichuan Cheng-Gong Electronics Group, Li Jin, said some 10 years ago they displayed their products in a hope that there would be buyers, but now they are here to display brand new technologies. Meanwhile, other Chinese tech companies have brought their innovative technologies and new products to this show, covering a wide range of robots, smart home products and drones.
Well, the Chinese company is an explosive story at CES. Over probably the course of the past 10 or 15 years, we've seen a lot of companies shift from being more export-focused to being more innovative-focused. And we've seen that with very large companies. For instance, Huawei is keynoting for the first time this year at the show.
CES, the largest show of its kind in the world, is held between January 5th and 8th, attracting over 38,000 companies from various countries and regions. Among the exhibitors, at least one-third are from China, including the mobile giants Huawei and ZET, for example. Looking at news from international arena, Florida governor vows to hold alleged airport shooter accountable for the deaths of 5 people in Friday's shooting in the baggage claim area of Fort Lauderdale Airport. Governor Rick Scott called the shooting at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport earlier on Friday a senseless evil act and vowed to bring the alleged perpetrator to justice. 5 people were killed and at least 8 others wounded when a gunman opened fire in a baggage claim area.
This was a tough day for our state. Clearly a senseless evil act happened where, according to law enforcement, 5 individuals have lost their life. And we know there's still people fighting for their life. What's important to me is that we will never tolerate things like this in our state. Whoever is responsible will do everything we can to hold them accountable. We will never let anybody off the hook. We'll hold them accountable to the full extent of the law.
The FBI says a 26-year-old Esteban Santiago, an Iraqi war veteran, is suspected of opening fire at the airport shortly after 1800 GMT after arriving in Fort Lauderdale on a connecting flight from Alaska on Friday. When he retrieved a 9mm semi-automatic handgun from his checked luggage, he began firing indiscriminately. Governor Scott says he had been in contact with President Barack Obama and President-elect Donald Trump after the shooting.
I appreciate that both President Obama and President-elect Trump called and Vice President-elect Pence called. And I appreciate it when something like this happens. You know that you have the support of the federal government.
Santiago was taken into custody immediately following the shooting and questioned at length. He is expected to face federal charges in the shooting rampage, the FBI says. In Syria's ongoing crisis, some analysts think that the US will continue to play a role despite speculation that the country is unable to exert significant influence compared with Russia-Turkey alliance on this issue. 2 U.S. military officials told the U.S. national broadcasting company NBC on Wednesday that owing to the brewing tensions in the northern Syrian town of Al-Bab, the Department of Defense has offered help to Turkey in combating Syria's extremist groups multiple times over the past few weeks, all of which have been met with rejection. According to a report from the media outlet, Turkey instead turned to Russia for launching an air raid against the groups entrenched in Al-Bab. Recently, U.S. fighters merely flew over the town without conducting any airstrikes. Meanwhile, the ceasefire brokered by Russia and Turkey is holding tenuously. Analysts from Syria concluded, however, that the U.S. neither participated in ceasefire negotiations, nor is it a leading country in the multilateral talks slated for later this month in the Kazakh capital of Astana, largely because Barack Obama's term as U.S. president is drawing to a close. On the intractable Syrian issue, the U.S. is grappled in a predicament but flexing its political muscle via other means. Mazan Bilal, a Syrian political analyst, said the US government is quite embarrassed. It is of no strategic meaning because Obama is leaving within a fortnight. He said that they have taken measures against Russia, like imposing more severe sanctions and expelling Russian diplomats. However, experts think it unlikely that the US will remain absent for long on the Syrian issue. Though the ongoing nationwide ceasefire within Syria has dealt a heavy blow to some rebel groups, it has otherwise very limited influence upon those in close connection with the Gulf states. Some say that for the ceasefire to be maintained, the US needs to step up. Another analyst from Syria, Mohammed al-Omari, said no ceasefire could make it without US endorsement and that the UN Security Council passed a resolution in support of the ceasefire and called on US President-elect Donald Trump to play a positive role. A ceasefire constitutes just one of the many measures the US has adopted in Syria. In actuality, the 6-year-long crisis has been prompting the US to conduct wider cooperation with Russia in the war on terror and to plan a roadmap for counter-terrorism measures in Syria. US-backed militias in Syria captured an ancient citadel from IS in a strategically significant advance against the jihadist group in its stronghold of Raqqa province. Militia spokesman Talal Silo said the Jabbar citadel on the banks of Lake Assad was taken by Syrian Democratic Forces SDF alliance. It is located near a dam on the Euphrates River that the US-backed alliance also aims to capture in the current phase of its campaign. Mamoun Abdul Karim, the Syrian government's antiquities chief, told Reuters in Damascus the SDF's capture of the castle represented a victory for the Syrian people because liberating the citadel from IS is saving Syrian heritage. The SDF, which includes the powerful Kurdish YPG militia, is the main partner for the United States in the campaign it is leading against IS in Syria. SDF forces are just a few kilometers from the dam held by IS. Iraqi troops entered Mosul from the north for the first time, part of a new phase in the battle for the city. Elite forces also bridged a river under cover of darkness in an unprecedented night raid. The troops entered residential Al-Hadba apartments complex, officers at a nearby command post told Reuters. It was not immediately clear how much of the area they control amid resistance from IS. The operations are part of a major new push launched last week to seize ground in the city. The offensive was launched in mid-October, but progress had stalled for weeks because of a need to slow the advance to protect civilians. Iraqi forces have so far recaptured more than half of the eastern Mosul, but they have yet to cross the Tigris to face insurgents who are still firmly in control of the western half of the city. The U.S. Congress certifies the Electoral College vote that gave Republican Donald Trump his victory in the contentious 2016 presidential elections. The U.S. Congress certified the Electoral College vote that gave Republican Donald Trump his victory in the contentious 2016 presidential election after a raucous half-hour joint session punctuated by Democratic challenges. The Republican businessman whose presidential campaign was his first bid for public office garnered 304 electoral votes, compared with 227 won by his Democratic challenger Hillary Clinton, according to the vote tally read by Vice President Joe Biden. The electoral votes were opened before a joint session of Congress in what is considered a formality for most presidential elections. Some members of the House of Representatives objected to the electoral tally in some states, including Alabama, Florida, Michigan, Texas, Mississippi and the Carolinas, in a symbolic move that exposed lingering dismay over a contentious election campaign. Some members complained about long lines at polling stations, while others cited concerns over Russian attempts to influence the result in Trump's favor. Biden denied the objections one by one, at times jocular and apparently determined to finish the tally. It is over, he said at one point, to laughter from Republicans. None of the representatives had the backing of a senator, which would have allowed them to suspend the joint session and allow the House and Senate to meet separately to debate the objections. Although Trump, who is set to take office on January 20th, won the Electoral College vote that determines the victor, Clinton won the popular vote by nearly 3 million ballots. The election has been shadowed by concerns about Russian hacking of democratic groups and other forms of intervention during the campaign. 217 fishermen released by Pakistan entered India through Wagah border on Friday with mixed feelings as one of their colleagues died due to cardiac arrest 2 days before their release. The fishermen were arrested nearly a year ago when they strayed into Pakistan's territorial water while looking for catch. Their release comes amid the strains in ties between the two countries due to the recent cross-border terror activities. Jayanti, one of the freed fishermen, hoped that more such fishermen who continue to languish in Pakistani jails will be released soon. Islamabad was supposed to release 218 fishermen, but one of them died on Wednesday of a heart attack. According to the other freed fisherman, Jeena Bhagwan was immediately taken to a jail hospital after complaining of chest pain. On December 25th last year, Pakistan had released 220 fishermen who were arrested under similar charges. The UN Convention on the Laws of the Sea states that fishermen who cross territorial waters can be warned and fined but not arrested. Relations between the nuclear-armed neighbours have been more fraught than usual since the crackdown by Indian forces on dissent in Indian-controlled Kashmir began in July. In September, militants killed 18 soldiers at an Indian army base, an attack New Delhi blamed on Pakistan. Manchester City crushed West Ham United 5-0 to give manager Pep Guardiola the perfect introduction to the FA Cup as they cruised into the fourth round with a thumping victory at the London Stadium. After taking the lead through Yaya Toure from the penalty spot, the 5-time winners swept their opponents away with devilish attacking verve, inflicting on the Belgrade Hammers their worst ever home defeat in the competition. Argentine soccer legend Diego Maradona shared some of his wisdom with young Argentine soccer players in a clinic on making successful free kicks. Maradona joined a player from Deportivo Riestra, a club in the regionalized third division of Argentine soccer system, on the pitch for a training session. He demonstrated how to make free kicks and walk the players through the finer points of executing them. Following the training session, Maradona relaxed with the players and joined them in remembering former teammate Gonzalo Peralta, who died several months ago due to illness. Maradona often gives clinics and advice to Argentine soccer players. And on a lighter note, Michelle Obama makes emotional remarks during White House event honoring educators. First Lady Michelle Obama gave her final White House speech on Friday, saying that being the First Lady has been her greatest honor and that she hopes she made everyone proud. During a ceremony honoring the Counselor of the Year, an emotional Obama focused her remarks on empowering young people to reach their potential.
And as I end my time in the White House, I can think of no better message to send to our young people in my last official remarks as First Lady. So for all the young people in this room and those who are watching, know that this country belongs to you, to all of you, from every background and walk of life. If you or your parents are immigrants, know that you are part of a proud American tradition, the infusion of new cultures, talents and ideas, generation after generation, that has made us the greatest country on earth. If your family doesn't have much money, I want you to remember that in this country, plenty of folks, including me and my husband, we started out with very little. But with a lot of hard work and a good education, anything is possible. Even becoming president. That's what the American dream is all about.
Obama initiated the program recognizing high school guidance counselors for their efforts to motivate and guide students to advocate to college education. She will make other appearances before her term ends, but Friday's event was her final official White House event. President Barack Obama's term ends on January 20th when President-elect Donald Trump is sworn into office. Well, that's it for tonight. Stay tuned for more updates of recent current affairs stories here on Television Modus. Thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening. Good night.